Guys, hello and welcome to Skycurser Daily number 51, where it's our goal to be a better indie dev today than we were yesterday. We are going to pick up where we left off at the end of last stream. And at the end of last stream, if you got a chance to see it, we were basically making sure that we could get, we were doing level 2 scripting, and we were making sure that we could get multiple sets of PEBs on screen at the same time without any issues. So I think we were pretty close to that, but we still have a little bit of work to do. So that's going to be where we pick up. And additionally, we are we'll just start off by hit and play so we can see where we're at on level 2. And what we should see is the first action sequence of level 2 play out, and then we'll see the first 2 sets of enemies come on stream at the same time. So let's just hit play. So first compile of the day always takes the longest, and we're just waiting for the compiler here for us to hop in.
Skycurser. Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
So first set of action sequence, everything goes, Skycurser zooms by everything, and then we have one set of PEBs come on stream, and then another set of PEBs come on stream here. So that's all we got so far. I'm going to hit reset so I can watch that, because I got to make sure I know exactly if that was if everything played out the way it was supposed to, especially with the set of PEBs that came flying in at the end.
Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
4, 6, 8. Okay. So it seems like there might be some sort of small bug with the PEBs that come in initially. There's a set of 9 PEBs that come in instead of 8. But let me just look at the compile window here so I can see how this is all playing out. I think I need to do a little bit more debugging. So I'm going to be looking at the enemy generator object, controllers, enemies, enemy generator 2, and most of this is going to happen inside of the step event, and I'm pretty sure I externalized everything from an alarm. So here's where we call at 2 seconds and at 5 seconds from the point of the last helicopter. So let's look at that. Let's look at the story point builder. Now, we really ripped apart the enemy 3 gen helper last time. Really ripped it apart. And we created an object that would hold a lot of this data and hand it off to the actual enemy 3 object whenever it was instantiated. So here's the object enemy 3 helper. Would probably be under enemies, level 1, level 1, enemy 3, and the helper. Let's kind of look at how this is set up. Timer. Set externally. Alright. So we basically destroyed the concept of the enemy 3 alarm in the way that it was being used, because enemy 3, the alarm 2 has basically been reduced to no code. It's simply just a way for us to determine whether or not the current action has been completed the way we need it to be. I'll close this guy. Max per group. Its spawn counter is less than max per group times the max group count. The other thing I needed to check was, see how this goes through. So whenever the enemy 3 helper goes through its step event, when it hits a certain point, when timer counter is equal to timer, it then spawns an enemy 3, and then destroys itself. Enemy 3 takes over from there. So script enemy 3 spawn is going to be, where did I put that? Here it is. So we pass into it 3 items, 3 parameters. The enemy generator object, the position point, and the captured story point. So by default we have argument 0. In some cases we may not have argument 1 and 2. And now we need to look at script enemy 3 generate, because we changed that as well. So we set arg7, which is the captured story point, to 0 by default, and then it gets set as it comes in. Here's where we're doing the object index. This is also where we should also show the captured story point, which will be arg7. This is where I needed to do some more debugging at. Okay, let's hit play.
Skycurser. Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
Okay, so the main purpose of that was to get a look at our compile window here. So I just wanted to see every time one of these was activated, what was the captured story point. It should change to 1 at some point. There it is, it's changing to 1 right there. Now the last thing I'd like to do is see what the position point is for each of these. That would also be helpful. And the position point is going to come through. Actually, I don't think the position point comes through in this guy. That's alright, we can set it. We can output the position point on the spawn, which is right here. Okay, hit play.
Skycurser. Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
Alright, see what we got here. I think I've got too much noise in here at the moment. I need to reduce all these calls right here. I need to know exactly what and when is calling this group. So let me see that real quick. Generate would probably be in the right there, not there. It's not in the spawn. I want to leave this guy here. It's going to be in the enemy 3 gen helper right here. I think I've got nope, not what I clicked or wanted to click. Alright. This is what's too noisy at the moment. Okay. Also, I want to do one more thing and see what mission 1 looks like in just a moment. Of course, if you're just joining, we're only looking at mission 2 right now. We're at the start of mission 2 and trying to make sure everything is extendable for mission from mission 1 to mission 2, but we've changed a lot, and I want to make sure we haven't broken anything for mission 1.
Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
Okay, let's look at the output. Here we go. So it looks like we have an extra one getting called for position 2, which is faulty. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm not exactly sure why it's doing that yet. And that's fine though. We'll get it figured out in a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The other problem that I have is whenever we're going through on the enemy 3 gen helper and trying to determine what to call, basically when we get to this point, I think this alarm right here is preventing some calls that definitely need to happen. But I've also got to be careful with this because I need this to prevent up to a certain point. I'm not exactly sure what to do about this to allow for multiple positions to get called at the same time. Alright, we'll come back to this in a second. First thing I want to do is go back to mission 1 and see if there's any damage that's been done there from all the changes we made. Hopefully not, but I'm not sure.
Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
Well, this looks good so far. This is good. So I've got a trigger happening too quickly there. I got to fix still. But haven't broken anything with the way everything should be up to this point.
Mission complete. Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
Okay, so pretty good overall. Got a bad trigger for sure. And what else is happening there that shouldn't be happening? Got one extra PEB that's being generated every time they're called. So we gotta address that. I mean, it's weird that that's occurring, but I'll figure that out in a minute. Okay, so back to level 2. I gotta figure out what's doing the spawn counter, and I'm pretty sure that's the enemy 3 generate that's doing that. Yeah. So the spawn counter is occurring right here, and that is probably a smidge too late. The spawn counter really should be occurring before this script. Probably right here, right after. Wonder if this is allowing it to get into here too quickly. So this should be group counter. Oh, I know it's... no. Spawn counter should start at 0. Max per group should be... group max count should be 1, basically. Max per group should be 8. Less than 8 should be 0 through 7, which should be fine. Somehow I'm getting an extra spawn of an enemy, though. I think technically I could just make sure this gets executed earlier on, like right here, but not sure if that'll actually fix this problem. I don't see a need for these to be in that conditional, so I'm going to take them out. If the spawn counter does not equal 0, because at some point it gets reset, and the global enemy 3 spawn counter modulus enemy 3 max per group is equal to 0, then say that we've hit a group, a full group, and set that story point to true, basically, is what we're saying here. And let's just say that a little bit. Story point activated. Which that would probably prevent us from having multiple enemies on screen at once. Or at least multiple enemies from different position points on screen at once, I should say, because the whole goal that I'm trying to do here is let the enemies come in and overlay each other's paths, so they'll come in at staggered points, and that's what I'm trying to accomplish. Spawn counter greater than or equal to max per group times enemy 3 group max count. Oh, max group per group -1 it should be. That's probably why I'm getting too many right there. So should be 0 through 7 because it starts at 0. Yeah, let's try that.
Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What? Come on. That's broken, apparently. Come on, work with me. Also, let's look at this. Story point never gets set to true. That's the problem there. I see. Never gets set to true because I'm looking for all the way through 7 here, but I'm going for all the way through 8 here. So if I said 7 divided by 8 modulus is equal to 1, would that solve that problem? Let's check that out.
Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
Hello. Let's that one more time.
Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. All right. So that's obviously wrong. Keep that at 0. Let's say spawn counter +1.
Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go! Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
8, 2, 4, 6, 7. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that's 8 right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I got the story point incrementing too quickly here. Spawn counter, and if you joined me on my last stream, which was about 2 days ago, the code that I'm dealing with was code that I wrote over a year and a half ago, and it was literally the very first thing I did in Game Maker, and probably one of the most complex things that we've even done up to this point. So one, it had a lot of Game Maker best practices incorrect. So I've gone through and updated a lot of that as much as I could, and then and I've come a long way in terms of my understanding of how Game Maker works since then, and just general programming knowledge in general. So yeah, I'm still just troubleshooting this, but I've also been wrapping my head around it for part of last stream and this stream. So not equals 0. If this plus 1 modulus max per group is equal to 0, then increment the group counter, set this to 1, and reset this to 0. I almost think that I should put the spawn counter at the very end underneath, like right here, and see what that nets us.
Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do that one more time.
Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've just got one that's showing up in the wrong location. Something else that I'm thinking of while I'm going through this right now is that I'd like to add some notes. And just so that they can be referenced easily. So let's do that. And to activate script enemy 3, we go through script story point builder, which then calls script enemy 3 gen helper, which then calls script enemy 3 spawn, which then calls script enemy 3 generate. And let me make sure my flow on that is correct. I know it's a crazy flow, but I think it's the right flow in terms of why let it be so crazy in terms of where all it's going and what it's calling. It's actually calling enemy 3 helper. So I need to put that in here. So from enemy 3 gen helper, we call object enemy 3 helper, which holds variables that can't be held with alarm. I've got one more idea. On this helper, and I need Okay. I think I might get crazy here for a second and try something a little bit new with the way this is working, because I need this to open up, really. I need this if conditional to be a little bit more flexible. I don't want it to occur too many times, but I feel like I need it to occur enough to allow the multiple streams to come through. So gotta check the base enemy generator object real quick. I've got one alarm in here. Okay. What about enemy generator 1? How many alarms do I have? I've got 4 alarms, so basically I need to start at alarm 4 here. One other thing I need to look at is how many alarms GameMaker allows you to have. Looks like 12 alarms total, 0 through 11. So I'm going to start at alarm 4. This will be a complete test. But somehow I have to tie to the alarm that I'm calling which position point I'm calling. I think I might put this into a script because this could get complex. This conditional could get complex. Kisotu. No, I don't normally stream for a short time. Well, generally I stream for about 2 hours, and I stream almost every day. Kisotu, yeah, thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate it. So I stream almost every day, if not every day, about every other day, and at the max, probably like 3 days in between each of my streams at the max. But I try to stream every day. On the weekends, it's very convenient for me to stream between about 2 and 4 in the afternoon, so Saturday and Sunday. And if I get to stream during the evening, it'll be like 8 or 8:30 in the evening on the weekends. But during the week, it's usually, and I'm talking Eastern time. So right now where I'm at, it's 3:45. But during the week, I normally stream around 8:30-ish and go for at least about 2 hours. So yeah, man, I'm on here a lot. So glad you found the stream and glad you could join us. I'm currently working through something that's a little bit difficult. I'm working on code that I touched about a year and a half ago, and this was when I was very first time I was exposed to Game Maker, so I'm going back through and making a lot of updates to it. It was, I didn't have, a lot of Game Maker best practices in place in terms of, how the platform likes for things to be coded. And then this was probably one of the more complex things we've done anyways up to this point. So yeah, I'm just trying to work that out at the moment. It's a little bit, I'm racking my brain. This is probably the hardest thing that I got to figure out for one of the hardest things I got to figure out for the entire game. So, I remember once we got this done so I'm working on level 2 scripting right now, and once we got this done with level 1 scripting, the whole scripting process went really quick. So I'm just trying to make this better for level 2, a little bit more extensive in nature and what it can do. So that's what I'm working on. So what I want to do right now is check and see why, or tie. Here, let me think about this. I'm probably going to tie a specific call to a generator of enemy 3 to one of these 3 alarms, and once these 3 alarms are activated on screen, the position point of the particular enemy that I'm generating will get tied to this alarm. When the group of that enemy finishes its particular round through the screen, then I'll free up the alarm to be used for a different position point. This should make it so that I can have multiple streams of enemies, specifically for enemy 3 enemies on screen at one time, instead of just everything going through alarm 2 and alarm 2 blocking the production of another enemy 3. So here's what we'll do. ARG0, alarm 2, tied to equals, and this will be to 0 or ARG0 dot alarm 2 tied to, let me finish that. Kisotu, have you gotten a chance to see the playthrough of the game yet? I don't mind doing playthroughs if you kind of want to see it. We're building basically 6 levels, and we've basically got the first level done. So, also, I forgot to mention, welcome to the Griffin Aerotech School of Aviation. All right. Awesome. Let me see if I can show it to you real quick. Okay, nothing that I've written over here is going to intercept this, so I'll just change it up and I'll play it through level 1 and all the way to where we have scripted for level 2, which is hardly anything for level 2. So, room controls. Yeah, the GIF is just showing you some of level 1 that we've completed there. Yeah. I'll hit play here. It only takes about 2 or 3 minutes to play through level 1.
Skycurser. Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go! Mission complete. Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
And that's it. So that's what we got so far, man. Now, back to how I think this would work. So if it's tied to nothing or it's tied to this nothing might not work though. It's tied to 0 because the position point actually that should work. The story point could be 0, but the position point could not be 0. So that's good. Then if it's tied to nothing, all right. So 2, 4, 5. So any of those have to be set to -1, which there will be if time expires on them. And I mean, this is a little bit inefficient to do it this way, but man, I'm not sure that I can come up with some more answers here. Set to false by default, set to true here if necessary, and then tied to whatever the position point is a little bit later on. And so I think that will block it and set this correctly. So the other thing I need to do is go to the base enemy generator, which I think is right here, and set these properties right here on the base object. Put them right next to enemy 3 alarm. So 2, 4, 5 should be 0 by default. Note, these 3 alarms are reserved in enemy generator for enemy 3 generation. Okay. Now let's call this and look at, I gotta update one more thing as I'm thinking about it here. I'll just activate the alarm inside of those scripts. So things first. Let's go drop that. And then we'll do basically this guy right here in each of these as soon as we activate it. So we activate the alarm as soon as we realize it's available. And then we'll reset these alarms back to 0. These alarm tied to properties back to 0 as soon as the group is finished spawning. And that should be over in generate file. That's can generate, not generate. Let's try that again. So when I do this right here, we'll set, or we're going to have to pass the variable all the way to here. Because we got to know how are we going to do that. We basically have to know what alarm this particular enemy that's being generated is tied to. Right now we're just setting it on the parent, or not the parent object, but the generator object, but not necessarily tying this particular enemy to that particular. Thinking. I think the way we're doing our group counter might bite us. I mean, we might not even honestly need the group counter, at least the way that it is right here, or we're just going to have to be quite a bit more specific. So argument 8 should be tied to alarm. Enemy 3 can generate. No. No. Enemy 3 can generate. This guy could go away. And really what I would need to do is pass this along to the object enemy 3 helper. So the timer is right there, but I need a way to pass in. Man, I hate doing it this way. E3H dot. This is just hairy. Okay. Tie it to an alarm. It'll be tied to the current alarm. We'll set it right here. First of all, let's set current alarm as a particular item here. Okay, done with that. We'll set arg0.current_alarm equals 2 here, 4, 5. So as soon as it gets out of here, it'll go right into here. It'll pass the alarm that it's tied to. Let's look at the enemy 3 helper. Let's go ahead and set alarm tied to 0 here, and when this gets generated, we'll pass that into the spawn. Alarm tied to there, so it'll be a 4th parameter on enemy 3 spawn, and we'll make sure that pulls in up here. 4th parameter, but since we're 0 based, it'll be argument 3, and that'll be alarm tied to arg3 equals 0. Three here, 3 here, 3 here, and pass it all the way down here as the last argument. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're doing okay on parameters there. You can only do 16 parameters in GameMaker, otherwise you start having to pass lists, which are basically like arrays. So script enemy 3 generate then has access to alarm tied to, let's pull this down. I'll rename it up here as well. There. Alright, so argument 8 is coming through here. So the way that we do this is basically when this gets completed, I think I'll have to have one more variable which will basically say which group this is coming out in, and we have a position point. Let me think about that for a second. Could the position point or the story point holder, which I think it could, serve as the group? Yeah, it could. Nonetheless, when this gets set to 0, I think that what we need to do is arg0 dot Well, first of all, let's see what the current alarm is. ARG8, switch, ARG8, argument 8, cases could be 2, 4, or 5. And we need to then say arg1 dot alarm 2 tied to equals 0, and same for 4 and 5. 4, 5. I think one thing that I'll do here is just add these other alarm events just so that we can put a note in there that they're reserved. Note reserved for enemy 3. Just want, so that when I touch this code a year and a half later, I know what the heck I was using it for in the first place. So I think we're good there. Alright, so theoretically, that should allow these to come out at the same time. The only issue that we might have at this point is how the enemy 3 generator works in terms of the spawn counter and understanding which group it's attached to. Yeah, let's just try this. And we just wrote a lot of code, so we might have, I'm sure we'll have some broken pieces in here that I gotta fix. Okay.
Mission 1. Death at dusk.
So, illegal access of argument, enemy 3 gen helper, arg 0, argument 0. Copy this. I should have been on level 2. I guess I didn't push myself back to level 2. So give me 1 second. Let me add this to Notepad so I can verify what this bug is. Gen helper line 8. Huh. That's interesting. Not what I meant to click. Gen helper is here. Arg 0. So gen helper should have actually worked over there. I don't know why it broke there. Let's try this again. Doesn't really help us to test this on level 1. I should have looked at the call stack.
Mission 1. Death at dusk.
Okay. Abort. Let's go look at the notepad. Call stack is right here. Goes through here. 01. Line 35 of gen helper. Ah, this is the problem. I called the wrong script here. Let's try that. This should be script enemy 3 can generate. Alright, play again.
Skycurser. Mission 1. Death at dusk.
Okay, gotta... Let's see if this is the same error. Looks like it's... I didn't pass any arguments in, so abort. Gotta figure out which arguments I gotta pass in. Gotta pass in the enemy generator itself and the position point candidate. So we're talking ARG1 and ARG2. That might actually be ARG3. Yeah, position point candidate is right there. Okay, let's try that again. We'll get it. We'll get it.
Skycurser. Mission 1. Death at dusk.
Okay, different bug. Like I said, we just wrote a lot of code, so we just gotta figure out what it is that's messed up here. So we're the script enemy 3 generate line 77. I tried attaching that to the wrong argument. That should be arg0. Get out of here. Because it's coming through as the object I need right here. Enemy generator reference argument 0. So, and I passed arg0 here just so I could more easily access it instead of using object enemy 3 reference the way I did it previously. Which I should probably just consolidate and make all arg0 anyway, which I will do.
Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
So, wrong. Okay. I know what the problem is as I'm thinking about it. The problem is that it looks pretty close to right, but the problem is that in the can generate script, which I just tried to open, but it didn't, they are all getting tied to something here. I think what I need to do is make sure that tied to is equal to 0 and here we go. Here's what we'll do. And arg0.alarm 4 tied to does not equal arg1 and arg0.alarm 5 tied to does not equal arg1, and let's just keep it all right here. We'll do the same thing right here except for the other two. arg0.alarm 2 tied to does not equal arg1 and arg0.alarm 5 tied to not equal arg1. Consolidate that. And same thing here. And arg0.alarm 2 tied to, I did that wrong, didn't, tied to does not equal arg1 and arg0.alarm 4 tied to does not equal arg1. So we make sure that it's not in the other alarm tied to's before we try to activate it right there.
Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go.
That should have done it. I'm surprised it didn't. Arm 2, tie 2. Well, we're checking to make sure the alarms are -1, so that should prevent us from being in here. Oh, I know what the problem is. Technically, R0, alarm 2 equal to -1, and this or this. We can basically remove this because this at this point is going to be no longer useful. Because one of those we're always evaluating to true. And now drop this down here on these. And this should now be 4. We should make this wrap both of these. And one more of these are alarm 5. Make this wrap both of these. Alright, try again. It should never try to set that alarm if the alarm is still running.
Skycurser. Mission 1. Death at dusk.
Boom.
Go.
Yes. Let's see this. Do I have something weird going on? It's like something a little weird is going on. I'm not exactly sure what it is at the moment. See if these activate like they should. No, not quite. So there's something a little weird going on. I'm not sure what it is. Something weird going on with that.
Mission complete. Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
That looks right there. Okay. How did I learn to do that type of coding with GML using my knowledge gained from another language? So GML is a lot like JavaScript, but it of course has its own methods that are available to you. I read a lot of documentation. I probably wouldn't have even gotten involved with GameMaker or GameMaker language unless I could do coding this detailed. I know you can do a lot of, I think GameMaker's big draw is that you can do a lot of drag and drop stuff, but I really wanted a little bit more control over it than that. So yeah, I did a lot of reading documentation for probably a week or two, just reading how everything could work together and just kind of watching a lot of examples of how I could control everything. Oh yeah, Platformer Labs. Yeah, I've gotten a chance to watch your stream once or twice. I think when you were using GameMaker. So awesome, man. I am running short on time, guys. I've got about 4 minutes left. I got that pretty close to where I want it. It's not 100%, but that should have just opened it up to a lot of additional possibilities in terms of what can get called when. So I should have allowed it different streams of enemies to be called at the same time. But I still have some work to do on that. It's like really complicated. The more I think about it, the more that I think I'm almost finished with it, the more I realize I have a few more pieces that have to be added to it in order for it to work properly. So I wish we could leave well enough alone. Well enough was level 1, but there's additional like functionality that I need out of those enemy 3 PEBs for level 2 because they're going to behave in a slightly different way. Also, I'm going to have more of them come out on stream at once, and they're going to basically zigzag across the screen instead of basically going in a wave from right to left across the screen. So the problem with the way they worked in level 1 is that you could only call one set of those at a time, and then that entire set would have to complete before the next set of enemies was called. Now I think I've almost got it exactly to where it needs to be, which is allowing them to basically come out staggered in staggered groups across the screen. I do want to run one more test while I'm looking at this. Just start straight on level 2. Level 1 is I've taken some functionality away from level 1 just to get this tested and hopefully working in level 2. But I'll go back and clean up level 1 as soon as I get this exactly the way I need it for level 2 for sure. I just wanted to look at it one more time in level 2 before I head out for the day. If I have more time later, I'll hop back on later this evening, but that would probably be around 8:30 or 9 Eastern time.
Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
Ooh, yes. That's actually pretty close. They're staggered.
Mission 1. Death at dusk.
Look at that again.
Go!
It's not perfect because I see that some of them are sitting on top of each other. Looks like there's 1 or 2 being generated at a time right next to each other, but you'll notice the first set comes out underneath the second set, and of course the second set has two streams of enemies there, but that's the second set of enemies, but they come out staggered, and that wasn't possible before doing what we just did. So I think we had some pretty good success here, and I'll work out why multiple of them are getting generated on top of each other a little later. So I'm pretty happy with where that's at. So I think that's going to be my stream for today, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. If you haven't followed, please bop that follow button. Join the Griffin Aerotech School of Aviation. You do have access to commands, and you gain flight time every time I'm streaming. So, and that flight time can be used towards other things that I'm still building out a little bit later on. But glad you're joining me, and I hope your goal to be a better indie dev is getting stronger. So mine does every single day. I love doing this. So thanks again for joining me, and I'll leave you with our intro outro video, and I'll see you guys next time.